Okay, a poem for a friend. You're every inch a lady, you're every inch a queen, you're every inch a goddess, but this world is so mean. It allowed me to meet you 20 years too late. I would have asked you out on a special date. Your body is so beautiful, your face it is a treat. Any man would willingly fall down at your feet. I cannot tell you openly of the things that I feel, but in the things I write you know that it is real. Your smile, it lightens up every gloomy day, and when I hear your sweet voice, you know I long to stay. A poem for a friend. So if anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share, and the more you share, the more you get out of the event.
I can read.
Okay, you can read, you can read!
Yay!
Hey!
I can, guys. I have a really a big please to you all because we have here today a person who is very important to me as my manager for Sparta, Asteria. She has never voice on. She loves poetry, but she can only read. So if you're reading, then please paste. Unless you can't paste, then tell me. I will try to search the poem that you're going to read and paste it for you. I will read, of course, Neruda, back to the poetry. And I will read what to read today? What I didn't read yet. Cat's Dream is a poem that Night on the Island I will read for you guys. Love Sonnet. Love Sonnet 44. I'm sorry, 44. All night I have slept with you next to the sea on the island, wild and sweet. You were between pleasure and sleep, between fire and water. Perhaps very late our dreams joined, at the top or at the bottom, up above like branches moved by a common wind, down below like red roots that touch. Perhaps your dream drifted from mine, and though the dark sea was seeking me, and before when you did not yet exist, when without sighting you I sailed by your side, and your eyes sought what now bread, wine, love, and anger. I heap you up on you because you are the cup that was waiting for the gifts of my life. I have slept with you all night long, while the dark earth spins with the living and the dead, and on waking suddenly in the midst of the shadow, my arm encircled your eyes, neither night nor sleep could separate us. I have slept with you, and on waking my mouth come from your dream, gave me the taste of earth, of the water, of the wet, of the depths of your life, and I received your kiss, moistened by the dawn, and as it came to me from the sea that surround us. Wasn't my best reading, but I tried my best. Back to you, Saber.
Aneka, stop putting yourself down, you did a good job. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken
I
word.
have one to follow that.
Okay, Joel, the mic is yours.
This is Mike Saber. This is by Joy Harjo, and it's Sun Walks to the Edge of the Story. I'm going to put it in chat right now. Okay. I think this follows that nicely. In the lands of forgotten memories, I hear a woman singing. A dog runs in circles, barking. Then children laugh as they run through. The sashes of one girl's dress are dragging on the ground from playing horse. In this story is a woman with a husband she adores. He is the color of warm brown earth, tall with kind eyes that shine with love for her. When he loves, it is with every part of his body, from his planted feet to his head good with numbers. When she first lay down with him, their love made roots that dove into the ground, caressed the stones. These roots find water where water is needed. Those nights of early love, he spoke to her when she was sleeping. His words were the vision of an architect of dreams. He told her how he would treasure her, how they would walk through this life to the next with each other, no matter the tests and disappointments that befall a human on this earthly road. Those words blossomed into flowers, waters, and sunrises. She wears each day as a river pearl in a necklace. Though the pearls darken with age, they never let up their glow. Time is nothing in those lands. It has been years. They lay down together to sleep in their grown old bones, their weathered skins. She is a woman made of words. He is a man now impatient with words. They hold hands in the dark and fall asleep together. I find them as sundown walks to the edge of the story to wait for sunrise. I find them in a song about a woman weeping with joy, about a man whose love for her does not need words, but contains every color that love has ever worn. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you, Jolie. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry. But you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share, and the more you share, the more you'll get out of the event. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share with us? Okay, dark eyes. Dark eyes they fixed upon my soul, and burning deep I lost control. That stare it held me fixed and true. That stare it came from inside you. Dark eyes that bid my heart to fall. Dark eyes that make me feel so small. Dark eyes which held me in its power. Dark eyes were my true desire. I could not move away from you. You had control. What could I do? Your eyes they pierced deep within, and held my gaze fixed by a grin. Dark eyes that held me in its gaze. Dark eyes that left me in a daze. I could not look away from you. What did you want for me to do? Dark eyes that burn within my own. Dark eyes that said I'm not alone. Dark eyes that say you have control. Dark eyes your love is in my soul. Dark eyes that caused my heart to skip, and somersault with every flip. When love is blind and love is true, dark eyes know that I love you. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. And you said I to Xanax in my I am window, surely.
Oh, okay. Hi, Clinics.
Okay, does anybody have anything that they would like to share?
I can read a short one.
Okay, Joel, the mic is yours.
Whoops. Loud motorcycle outside. Okay. For Aneka, another Neruda. It's sonnet number 17. I do not love you except because I love you. I go from loving you to not loving you, from waiting to not waiting for you. My heart moves from cold to fire. I love you only because it's you, the one I love. I hate you deeply, and hating you, bend to you. And the measure of my changing love for you is that I do not see you, but love you blindly. Maybe January light will consume my heart with its cruel ray, stealing my key to true calm. In this part of the story, I am the one who dies, the only one, and I will die of love because I love you, because I love you in fire and blood. Oh, love in fire and blood. Sorry. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you, Joel. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, we would love to hear it. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And the more you share, the more you'll get out of the event. So if you have something you want to share, we would love to hear it. You don't have to share poetry if you don't want to, but the more you share, the more you'll get out of the event.
I can read again.
Okay, Aneka, the mic is yours.
I'm not going to torment you again with Neruda, guys. We'll read some Mary Oliver poem that I never read before. I hope I can read it. Someone has voice on. I don't know who, but
Me, sorry.
okay. This one is called Cold Poem by Mary Oliver. Cold now, close to the edge, almost unbearable. Clouds bunch up and boil down from the north of the White Bear. This tree-splitting morning I dream of his fat tracks, the life-saving suit. I think of summer which is with its illuminous fruit blossoms rounding to berries, leaves, handfuls of grain. Maybe what coldest is the time we measure the love we have always had sacredly. For our own bones, the hard knife-edged love for the warm river of the eye beyond all else. Maybe that is why it means the beauty of the blue shark cruising toward the tumbling seals. In the season of snow, in the immeasurable cold, we grow cruel but honest. We keep ourselves alive, if we can, taking one after another the necessary bodies of others, the many crushed red flowers. And it was Mary Oliver and her cold poem. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you, Aneka, for sharing that with us. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And the more you share, the more you'll get out of the event. That's the theory. Okay, Joey?
Okay, this is another love poem.
Okay, the mic is yours.
And it has no people in it. That's probably why I really like it. It's so sweet. This is by James Kavanaugh. One day I saw a lonely mountain. One day I saw a lonely mountain rising up to touch the edges of a cloud, its scarred face softly purple in the light, its strength unacclaimed but unmistakable, while the cloud floated there in soft surrender with a memory of the seasons it had survived. There were no words to mark this gentle union, no nuptials echoing down the valley below, no promise of warmth or coolness in the shadows, only the unhesitating act of this natural embrace. Even the sun was silent as they slowly kissed, without obvious passion or dramatic display. I wondered how long the mountain had waited, knowing that the cloud would appear when it was time, and what ancient stories it must have whispered when the cloud brushed her fingers across his jagged face. He had known other clouds that only closed his eyes and separated him from the sprawling valley below, wrapping him in a shroud of loneliness and confusion, until this moment, when the patient planets were all in place and enough seasons had sculpted his body in sun and snow. It was as loving a moment as I had ever seen, when a lonely mountain made a silent cloud his queen. Back to you, Saber. Oh, Saber.
Joey, I'm here. Don't know what's happened. Just a minute. Okay. The fleeting moments. The fleeting moments that we shared will stay within my soul until we meet on death's dark shore. My love will never grow cold. My heart it grieves now for thee because you've passed away, but one day soon we'll meet again. Oh, what a joyous day. The love you shared with me is still within my heart. The wisdom you bestowed on me gave me a brand new start. You've formed the very character that made me what I am. I will always love you because you are my mom. Although I cannot be with you, one day soon I will. I thank you most of all for the things that you have done. You gave my life true meaning and showed me who I am, the son of Alice Watkins. Now I'm a full-grown man. The words I want to share are hidden in my heart. The love I want to show to you has been there from the start. I cannot print the meaning because it lies within. I do not have the answer now why you had to go again. You left us when we needed you to be a loving friend, and although you've gone away, we know it's not the end. We know that you are with us through thick and through thin, and whatever life throws at us, your love is still within. That's the poem I wrote for my mum, who died in 1997. So if anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And the more you share, the more you get out of the event. My eyes are still bad even though I've got new glasses on. And I can't help that, and I'm sorry for that, but these things have a habit of happening. And I know what's up with my eyes, but I'm going to wait for an operation, but they couldn't do the operation because there was a problem. They had to see it happening, and of course, they never saw it happening. So if anybody has any poems that they would like to share, we'd love to hear it. Does anybody have a poem that they would like to share?
I'm hoping that Leslie will read something. I've missed your voice, Leslie.
I'm here and I'm just going through my poems trying to find one. I can't find any.
You've got so many.
What?
How about white rose, white paper?
Black ink? Thank you. I needed a suggestion. I've been
Yes,
reading all my
read.
poems one by one to myself here, kind of in between you all. And okay, here's one called White Rose. I've got a cold. I've had a cold. I got it in Italy. I went to Italy for Christmas. Everybody got sick, the whole family. And everybody that's related to me sounds like me right now. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Liz,
Yes.
Okay. Good. Now let me get this to open. This is called White Rose, White Paper, Black Ink. I wrote this in Madrid in 2014. Someone whispered she's a poet. Then someone else cut the only rose in that garden and handed it to her. For the poet. Poet. A word so embedded in the heart. They will cut the only rose in the garden for a poet they had never seen, never heard. So for any poet reading this, I still have that rose on my desk. And because it is full blown and poised to drop its petals silently onto the tabletop the moment I look away, I have written this rose onto this paper for us, this way, white rose, white paper, black ink.
Can I request another while you're reading?
Yes?
I want to hear the one about the table.
There's a table. Let me see if I'm up. It's called the table. Let's see, table. What is it?
You have another one that's the table too.
Table. There's a trigger word table.
It's the one about this table cost me $45.
That's right. This table.
Yeah, but don't say that.
I will. Well, let me see if I can find it. Maybe table.
Here, let me send it to you.
Okay.
This was my first poem of Leslie's that I loved and asked for a copy of.
Okay, let me see if I can even find it. It's only me right now. I got it in
I'm sharing it now.
Okay, good.
Share with Leslie. Leslie. There you go.
Okay. Alright, wait a second. So, excellent. This is a lot easier for me. Alright, Christopher loves Melissa.
Edit.
That's it, right? This poem cost me $45 because I stopped at a sidewalk flea market and there was this table that I did not like the color of, that I did not like the splayed legs of, and it had words all over it, not carvings, but scratches and gouges like writing with the sharp point of a protractor. Names and dates and stuff. It's a mess. But in the lower right-hand corner, a big, carefully carved heart says, Christopher loves Melissa forever and ever and ever. And that's Christopher, I don't know, loves Melissa. And it happened, and I bought it, and I kept it in somewhere in my house for a very long time.
Thank you for that.
A little bit hidden. Here, I've got another poem I pulled up. It's called Under. Are you all there? Hello?
We're here,
Yes, we
Liz.
can hear you.
Okay, this is called Getting Out from Under, and I guess the word was under. There are times when there is no getting out from under that which rent asunder, the awe, the joy, the wonder. That's when you pull yourself together and ask yourself whether there is anything you can fix or change. But sometimes you find it's time to grab the bottle of wine, down about half, raise the glass, and say, kiss my ass. I actually said that out loud. Does that shock everybody? Okay. No, I never read it out loud because I'd never pulled it up without anything else in front of me, which was an option. Okay?
Thank you.
This poem is called It Happened One September Day. It happened one September day when you were on holiday so far away. I was in Doncaster, sat all alone, and you were so very far from home. With no one to call and no one to phone, my heart felt lost and so alone. My thoughts began to stray to that place so far away. Then as I closed my eyes, I saw your face. To my surprise, my heart it lifted deep within, and from the place my thoughts had been. My thoughts welled up and filled with joy. Your love, it filled my soul that day and told me as if to say you're not alone even when you're sat there on your own. Love, it spans both time and space, even to that lonely place. So when you're feeling all alone, in my heart you'll have a home. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And the more you share, the more you get out of the event. Of Angels, Men and Muse, September 16th, 2009, by Saberman Carter. I may never see an angel, it's true, because they're invisible to me and you. and you can feel their presence in a room. What once was empty is not filled with gloom when they are with you in that room. You make it seem so easy to write in the day and in the coldest night, and all the time you start to rhyme. Is there a reason for your rhyme? You have a reason, I have a rhyme. To write it not would be a crime, for some of us a waste of time, because of rhythm without rhyme. But when the words begin to flow, don't quench the spirit, but let it go. And where the words end up, who knows? Just let the muse tread gently with your toes. She'll take you where you have to go, and do it slow, like the drift, like in the snow. And when you're happy with it, what you've got, she'll playing round and said, it's not. And then you have to start again. So open the book, don't put down the pen, because where you have to go, you'll need it again. So don't say no! And that's of Angels and Men and Muse by me, Saberman Carter, from 2009. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so.
I can read another one.
Okay, Jolie, the mic is yours.
Okay, I'm going to put this one in chat. It's a form poem. So if you want to stretch out your chat a little bit wider, you'll see the form of the poem. Otherwise, it's going to look very strange in chat. And then we'll go to cats, Socrates. We didn't forget you. This is called For You So Far Away. And it's a cinquain, so it's got 2 beats, 4 beats, 6 beats, 8 beats, and then back to 2 beats in 5-line stanzas. By day so far apart, I dream of holding you, of pleasing you, consoling you, my love. By night the distance fades, our bodies join as one, and finally we consummate our love. But then, who is to say which is real, which is not? My heart believes that both are true for us. We are both flesh and soul. Awake, we are apart, but our souls soar in carnal dreams of love. Back to you, Saber. I'll pull out the cats now.
Okay. Thank you, Jolie. Black Cat by Rainer Maria Rilke, 1875 to 1926. A ghost, though invisible, still is like a place your sight can knock on, echoing. But here within this thick black pelt, your strongest gaze will be absorbed and utterly disappear. Just as a raving madman, when nothing else can ease him, charges into the dark night, howling, pounding on the padded wall, and feels the rage being taken in and pacified. She seems to hide all looks that have ever fallen into her, so that like an audience, she can look on them over menacingly and sullen, and curl to sleep with them. But all at once, as if awakened, she turns her face to yours, and with a shock you see yourself tiny inside the golden amber of her eyeballs, suspended like a prehistoric fly. That's Black Cat by Rainer Rilke. Maria Rilke. Rilke.
You didn't put it in chat, huh?
I don't. Didn't. Well, I wasn't reading from the.
Oh, okay.
It was from a folder I was in at the moment.
Leslie can read a poem. Saber.
Yeah. Leslie, the mic is yours.
All right, I have a little four-line one, and then I have a bigger one. This is called Epitaph. It's very short, and it goes by very quickly. Epitaph. Reached by the tide, by surprise, where it dies, seaweed writes its own. Okay, that's that one. And this is called Fur. This is a true. I guess everything that we
That
write's
one's so
true.
short. You need to read that again.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Epitaph.
so short. People know now how short it is. So now they really
Okay.
have to listen.
All right. Beached is called epitaph. Beached by the tide, by surprise, where it dies, seaweed writes its own. I have a cold. I don't even know if you can understand me speaking very well. Okay. And now I have, and now this is one I wrote in 2013 from true life. Sometimes they come from prompts, and sometimes it comes from personal experience. This is the personal experience one, and it's called Chirp. Last night at 10, a cricket chirped somewhere in the corner to the left of me. Chirp, 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 chirp. Soon an answer chirped from somewhere in the corner to the right of me. Chirp, 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 chirp. This morning, I found a cricket in the sink. I took it outside, set it free. Tonight at 10, somewhere in the room, to the left of me, a cricket chirped. Chirp, 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 chirp. Are you speaking, Saberman? Because we don't hear you.
Sorry,
I don't know,
I
I
was
think.
typing. If anybody
Okay.
has a
Should I
poem
read
that they
one?
would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. I'm going to copy something and paste it in a local chat, but it's already been read, so I don't need to read it again.
Should I read one while you're doing that?
Yes, please, Joey.
Okay. I'm going to put this one in first, all right?
Yeah.
This is by Erica Jong, or Young. It's called The Poem Cat. Sometimes the poem doesn't want to come. It hides from the poet, like a playful cat who has run under the house and lurks among slugs. Saber, is that your mic?
Yeah, sorry.
Lurks among slugs, roots, spiders' eyes, ledge so long out of the sun that it is dank with the breath of the troll king. Sometimes the poem darts away, like a coy lover who was afraid of being possessed, of feeling too much, of losing his essential loneliness, which he calls freedom. Sometimes the poem can't requite the poet's passion. The poem is a dance between poet and poem. But sometimes the poem just won't dance. It lurks on the sidelines, tapping its feet, iambs and trochees out of step with the music of your mariachi band. If the poem won't come, I say, sneak up on it. Pretend you don't care. Sit in your chair reading Shakespeare, Neruda, Immortal Emily, and let yourself flow into their music. Go to the kitchen and start peeling onions for homemade sugo. Before you know it, the poem will be crying as your ripe tomatoes bubble away with inspiration. When the whole house is filled with the tender tomato aroma, start kneading the pasta. As you rock over the damp, sensuous dough, making it bend to your will. As you make love to this manna of flour and water, the poem will get hungry and come out, just like a cat coming home when you least expect her. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you, Julie. I've just posted Black Cat by Rainer Maria Rilke. I don't need to read that one again. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. We'd like to hear someone else reading. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And the more you share, the more you'll get out at the event.
Planix hasn't read. Planix, are you there? I wonder if he's sleepy.
Maybe he just listen, you know. But I would love to hear some Buddha poem.
Just listening today.
Hi, Clan.
Does anybody have a poem that they would like to share?
I could read one. Do you
Okay,
hear me?
Leslie, the mic is yours.
Okay, I'll read this. This is called La Señora in the Blue Sweater. Where is it? Wait a minute. I wasn't prepared. I shouldn't have said anything yet. Just a sec. Here it is. Okay, I should know it by heart by now, but I don't. Okay, this is called La Señora in the Blue Sweater. I wrote it in 2014. It refers to June 3rd in Madrid in 2014, okay? La Señora in the Blue Sweater. Diagonally across the street from the church, he reached out to me, grabbing my arm, the sleeve of her lovely handmade sweater the same color blue as mine. She said she thought the priests could help her, give her a bottle of milk. But there was a primera comunión happening and she did not know what to do. She was confused. She opened for me the thin plastic bag she was carrying, the kind we all carry every day, and peered into the vast emptiness of it and then held the emptiness of it up for me to see. I had a 50-euro bill in my pocket. I hesitated, and then I handed it to her. She stood there, grasping my hand for balance. touched my cheek and for balance, and she reached up and touched my cheek, softly stroking, and asked if I were the Virgin Mary descended from heaven to help her. She kissed my hand and petted me with wonder. I covered her hand with my hand. I said, "No, Senora. I just had the euros in my pocket, and I'm glad you have them now." I didn't say, "No, Senora. If I were the Virgin Mary, I would have taken you home with me, given you tea, a comfortable place to rest. I would have found a better way to help you." And I certainly didn't say, "No, Senora, the 50 euros were my way to walk away."
Got it. Okay, oops. No, this isn't doing something. Right, I'm going to post one that was written by Stush Quartz. One of the poets who used to come into second life and sadly has passed away many years ago. Boomer by Stush Quartz. She yawned, stretched, a great back-bending stretch, lightly closed the rug to be let out, and meowed to be let outside. Human adult female opened the screen door leading to the front garden, unaware of the trouble already underway there. Small female human was pinned beneath an over-enthusiastic large dog. A dog from next door. Over-enthusiastic is a redundancy when it comes to dogs. "That is my small human female," said the stately grey feline. "You're scaring her, get off." The foolhardy wolf cousin didn't move. "Like to see you make me try," he challenged. Little harmless puddy tat. Overconfidence is a failing. Without hesitation, Boomer the elegant, Boomer the intelligent, Boomer the brave marched up to the beast, looked him in the eye, and slashed his nose with one quick swipe of her claws. Dog howled, bayed, whimpered, and ran home. Adult human female was speechless. Small human female was relieved. Without waiting the acclaim she knew would follow, Boomer the independent strolled off to hunt whatever else might disturb the peace in her garden. That's Boomer by Stush Quartz. And if you're looking down from heaven, I've done my best with it, Boomer. Stush. And it's actually been sent out as a poem to be read on the internet. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do like to have, we do like to hear your own poetry read by you. So if anybody has something that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so.
I can read another one.
Okay, Aneka, the mic is yours.
Will not be a long poem. I'm going today. Oliver. Hold this one. And it goes like this. Did you too see it drifting all night on the black river, Did you see it in the morning rising into the silvery air, an armful of white blossoms, a perfect commotion of silk and linen as it leaned into the bondage of its wings, a snowbank, a bank of lilies, biting the air with its black beak? You hear it flapping and whistling, a shrill dark music, like the rain pelting the trees like a waterfall, kniving down the black ledges. And did you see it finally just under the clouds, a white cross streaming across the sky, its feet like black leaves, its wing like the stretching light of the river? And did you feel it in your heart how it pertained to everything? And have you too finally figured out what beauty is for? And have you changed your life? This is a good one, right? This one by Mary Oliver. And back to you, Saber.
Thank you, Nika. The next poem, the first half is written in French, and unfortunately I don't know anybody here at the moment who can read French. But you got the chance to translate both English and French at the same time. And unfortunately, I can't read the French, so I'll just start reading the English. Yes, God. The Cat by Charles Baudelaire. Come, superb cat, to my amorous heart, hold back the talons of your paws. Let me gaze into your beautiful eyes of metal and agate. When my fingers leisurely caress you, your head and your elastic body, and when my hands tingle with the pleasure of feeling your electric body. In spirit I see my woman, her gaze like your own, amiable beast, profound and cold, cuts and cleaves like a dart, and from her head down to her feet, a subtle air, a dangerous perfume, floats about her dusky body. William Aguilera, The Flowers of Evil, Fresco, CA Academy, Library Guild, 1954. And that's The Cat by Charles Baudelaire. So if you have a poem that you would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. Did you read The Cat Stream, Aneka?
No, she said she was going to leave that for us.
Right, okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't have it. I have it on the computer, but I've got it in front of me. Cat Stream by Pablo Neruda.
I'll put it in chat for you.
Thank you. How neatly a cat sleeps. Sleeps with its paws and its posture. Sleeps with its wicked claws and its unfeeling blood. Sleeps with all the rings, a series of burnt circles, which have formed the odd geology of its sand-coloured tail. I should like to sleep like a cat, with all the fur of time, with a tongue rough as flint, with a dry sex of fire, and speaking to no one, stretch myself over the world, over roofs and landscapes, with a passionate desire to hunt the rats in my dreams. I've seen how the cat asleep would undulate, how the night flowed from it like dark water, and at times it was going to fall, or possibly plunge, into the bare, deserted snowdrifts. Sometimes it grew so much in sleep, like a tiger's great-grandfather, and would leap in the darkness over rooftops, clouds, and volcanoes. Sleep, sleep, cat of the night, with episcopal ceremony, and your stone-carved moustache. Take care of all our dreams, control the obscurity of our slumbering prowess, with your relentless heart and the great ruff of your tail. Cat's Dream by Pablo Neruda. So if anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so.
I have one last cat poem for Socrates today.
Okay, Jolie, the mic is yours.
This one's by Marge Piercy. The Cat's Song. Mine, says the cat, putting out his paw of darkness. My lover, my friend, my slave, my toy, says the cat, making on your chest his gesture of drawing milk from his mother's forgotten breasts. Let us walk in the woods, says the cat. I'll teach you to read the tabloid of sense, to fade into shadow, wait like a trap, to hunt. Now I lay this plump warm mouse on your mat. You feed me, I try to feed you. We are friends, says the cat, although I am more equal than you. Can you leap 20 times the height of your body? Can you run up and down trees, jump between roofs? Let us rub our bodies together and talk of touch. My emotions are pure as salt crystals, are pure as salt crystals, and as hard. My lusts glow like my eyes. I sing to you in the mornings, walking round and round your bed and into your face. Come, I will teach you to dance as naturally as falling asleep and waking and stretching long, long. I speak greed with my paws and fear with my whiskers. Envy lashes my tail. Love speaks me entire, a word of fur. I will teach you to be still as an egg and to slip like a ghost of wind through the grass. And that was by Marge Piercy. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you, guys. You can continue, but we have the meeting and I have to leave. So you can continue the poetry if you like to, but I must go.
Well, I've got one last cat poem for Socrates, but if you're going to go take him away, copy that. I'll read it after I posted it. Right. Put that down. McCavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. McCavity the Mystery Cat is called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair, for when they reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. He's broken every human law, he breaks the law of gravity. His power of levitation would make a fakir stir, and when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, McCavity's not there. McCavity's a ginger cat, he's very tall and thin, you would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought, his head is highly domed, his coat is dusty from neglect, his whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's really wide awake. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by-street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then McCavity's not there. He's outwardly respectable, they say he cheats at cards, and his footprints are not found in any file of Scotland Yard. And when the larder's looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk's been missing, or another peak's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken, and the trellis past repair, aye, there's the wonder of the thing, McCavity's not there. And when the Foreign Office find a treaty's gone astray, or the Admiralty lose some plans and drawings by the way, there may be a scrap of paper in the hall or on the stair, but it's useless to investigate, McCavity's not there. And when their loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service say, it must have been McCavity, but he's a mile away. You'll be sure to find him resting, or the licking of his thumb, or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. He always has an alibi, and one or two to spare. At whatever time the deed took place, McCavity wasn't there. And they say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known. I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, and nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time just controls their operation. The Napoleon of crime. That's McCavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. Does anybody have a poem that they would like to share? Hey, Dappy.
I think that was a good way to end.
Yeah. Stay safe, everyone. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Don't forget Auto Chelsea. I don't know who the featured reader is, so just have fun and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
Saturday.
Going to head home.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, folks. Stay safe. And we'll see you next week for another hour of poetry.